Ah, it's petrified turds.
That's bad.
About 8 years ago, I was trying to buy this car. I was messaging the dude off Craigslist at the time. And I was messaging him, trying to figure out a game plan, asking him questions about the car. I really liked it, really wanted it. Loved the body style. Kind of a unique little car. Ended up selling it to someone else. You know, I get it. First come, first serve. And I've seen some posted here and there since then, but they were either too expensive or just the time wasn't right. Cut to about a week ago now, scrolling through Marketplace like I do. Terrible addiction. Need to just delete Facebook off my phone. The only thing I use it for is Marketplace. And I saw another one posted for very cheap, $500. And I was like, well, let me waste this guy's time a little bit, ask him some questions about the car. And I saw that he was like 10 miles from me. And I was like, dang, might have to at least go check it out. It's not far. Usually we have to go to like Detroit or Bay City or Saginaw or up in Muskegon, stuff like that. This one was like 25 minutes away. So I was talking to the dude, and he just wanted the car gone. And he was like, people have tried to buy parts off of it from me. And this one guy was like, I'll give you $200 for the grill. And I told him, $200, take the whole car. He didn't want the whole car. So I was like, I will gladly take the entire car for $200. So that's what we did. Now, I will say, before I show it to you guys, because it's right around the corner here, this thing is rough, right? It is very bright out, and this car is pretty rough. But the guy he got it from kept it up on a shelf in his barn since the 80s. I believe this thing was last tagged in 82. So sometime in the 80s, he put it up on a shelf in his barn to try to preserve it. It did so-so. They had this weird convoluted ramp system to get it down from there. Can't believe the thing didn't fall off or fall apart with those cinder blocks, but it made it. The guy ended up dropping it off at the guy I got it from's place, and he was like, man, this thing is way worse, because he wouldn't let him climb up in the rafters or whatever to look at it. Liability thing. He's like, man, this thing's in terrible shape. I wanted something to build with my kid. This thing sucks. And I was like, that's right up my alley. I love taking junk and wasting money on it, I guess. So this, I don't plan on this becoming an immediate project. I got to finish the Skylark. We got to do the brakes, like run the brake lines and change the gears in that. And then that thing's pretty dang close to done. Finish the Fiero. Definitely finish the 55. Swap the engine in the Chevelle and paint that. That thing is pretty close to done. And then we'll get to work on this thing. And I'll go over the little plan that I've got up in the noodle for this thing. But here we go. This is a 1970 Opel Kadett B. And it's in medium shape. Rockers are terrible. Some of the wheel lips in the back are pretty bad. This I'm not actually worried about. The rockers and the wheel lips I'll fix, but stuff like this, stuff like that, we're not touching that. It's got tiny little 13s on it. See that there. This door handle's stuck, so I gotta take that apart and free this up. And the inside needs to be just excavated of all the literal crap in it. But the dash isn't too bad. Don't know if that's going to stay in the car. The steering wheel's kind of neat. Let's see if that freed up the hood. The hood kind of sticks. Oh, see, I know I got you. Look at that. To be honest, I have no idea what engine this is. I haven't ran the van, I haven't checked the numbers on anything. I have only looked at the body, and I was like, perfect. Now, what I want to do is get this thing all cleaned out and move it into the garage. We'll probably power wash the inside and outside before moving it into the garage. And then I want to put it on the scales to see how much it weighs, because the title says this thing weighs 1,729 pounds. After all the rust, it might be a little bit lighter than that. We'll see. If it's under 2,000, I'll be happy. Like I said, there's things here and there with it. I think the car was repainted at one point. It looks like it used to be red. When you look like right there, or like an orange maybe. And there was another spot up here on the front. I think it used to be orange, which doesn't surprise me. I like this blue. So yeah, I'm gonna get this thing all cleaned out and power wash it off real quick. Power wash the inside, and then roll it into the shop and put it on the scales. And then I'll kind of go over loosely what I have planned for it. It just smells terrible, dude. I'm so scared to actually touch any of this. Can't wait to find the carcass of... There you go. Can't wait to find the carcass of whatever's living in here. This is not like the first... this is not the first vehicle that I've bought that something was living in. But man, this one smells terrible. This might be the worst smelling one. Yeah, I wonder if I can just grab this whole ass thing. Oh, Jesus. Oh, it keeps punching me in the face. Oh, damn. Ah, it's petrified turds. The trunk floor is really not too bad. Wow. Yeah, here's some of the stuff. Center caps, trim ring, the original jack. That's pretty neat. If you guys haven't seen that, I'll show you. But this slides into like a little post or pole or hole or tube. This slides into a hole in front of the wheels and like locks in there, and then you screw it up. It's pretty neat. The trunk's not as bad as I expected. I thought it was gonna look like that, just held together with the carpet. So that's sick. Yeah, those wheel tubs are a little bit bigger than I'd thought too. Those are like 8 or 9 inches, which we're gonna cut those out too. Might end up cutting pretty much everything out back here. Cool little gas tank there. Everything in here, I think I'm gonna have to get a razor blade and cut that carpet out. Big sheesh. Sheesh and a half even. So yeah, I'm gonna spare you guys watching me throw up or listening to it, and we'll get to some of the more fun stuff in a second. Alright, I got this pig all cleaned out as best I felt like doing right now. To get it really clean, I need to pull these seats out, which I ain't really messing with right now. But got the back seat out, got it vacuumed pretty well. Got the rear all vacuumed, kind of looks the same as it did though. Start spraying this thing. Got the Kadett in here. Might start calling this thing K-Dot in light of recent events. Push pretty easy, which is convenient. Oh man, I didn't notice that. I don't know if that was like that before or if that was from pushing it in with the Envoy. So now I'm just going to get this thing lifted up, and then we'll set it down on the scales just because I'm curious how much it actually does weigh. Like I said earlier, the title says that it weighs 1,729 pounds, which would be super sick. Because that means that by the time I'm all done with this thing, it could be like 2,100 pounds, maybe 2,000 pounds. Now, I do want to reiterate, man, I did a terrible job power washing that thing. Holy crap. It was so bright out there that I couldn't really see, so I was just, whoosh. Yeah, I did awful. Jeez Louise. But I do want to reiterate that as much as I want to get started on this thing right now, just because it's new and exciting, we're not going to. Got all these other sweet treats to tackle. Basically just leaning into this thing. Yeah, here's the jack point that I was talking about earlier. Put that right there, right into those. Hope this thing doesn't fall apart when I lift it up. Which, like I said, as long as the body's okay, then we will be good. That door will be our judge of how much it flexes. That wasn't too much, actually. Yeah, that still all lines up. Wow. It's funny. Usually when the hoist gets up to the car, you can hear the tone change in the motor where it's like, never did that for this. All right, actually, before we put this on the scale, I'm going to take it all the way up. Look underneath. Because I've never seen underneath one of these. All right, so I believe this was the model where they switched from leaf springs to trailing arms. Look at that dinky little sway bar. Goodness, it's adorable. And this has like a torque tube or something for the rear end. What the heck? So it's got a tiny little drive shaft here, and then it goes into like a torque tube. Wow. That's very interesting. Good to know. Alright, so for the rockers, looks like all down here's so-so, so it's just the skin on the outside here. I bet on the inside it's getting pretty bad too, because the floors aren't the best. How is over here? Over here, back here's pretty rough. This, the size of that pig. Lordy. Yeah, through here's starting. I think the other side's, yeah, rotting away, but that's, like I said, not the worst I've seen. The bottom side of the trunk floor doesn't look terrible. This thing has discs up front. I did not notice that, actually. Easy to get to the filter, rack and pinion. This has a whole cradle, almost like an F-body in a way. Which, if you don't know, Opel was sold by Buick in the States. Yeah, the seat belts for the back seat actually say GM on them. This probably would have been a pretty fun car when it was new. Alright, so honestly, the underside is not as bad as I thought it was going to be looking at the rockers and stuff. So that's pretty cool. Unfortunate that we're not going to use most of it. So like the center of the floor, like the floor pans here, might reuse. We'll cut like from here back. The tunnel we'll have to redo. Obviously out here we'll have to redo. And pretty much all from the firewall forward. Which in the engine bay, the firewall has like, it's here, and then it steps out for the foot pedal box and everything. So the floor will probably get chopped to like here, give or take. And then we'll have to make a new firewall, which not thrilled about, but I think it'll be really cool once it's done. So let's drop this thing on the scales and see what it weighs. Like I said, title said it weighs 1729. So it could be a little bit lighter because of all the rust. Could be a little bit heavier because of other weights that aren't factored into that. Who knows?
Hopefully this thing doesn't roll anywhere. Got the scale on, zeroed out.
So, like I said, please don't roll anywhere. Alright, we are firmly off of the hoist, right? Yep. 1795, 1796. Crazy. It's even more crazy that the rear is dead ass even. 21.5% on both rears. So yeah, this thing, we'll call it 1,800 pounds. Wow. That's pretty sick. That is pretty sick. For reference, this thing is 2 or 3 inches longer than the Fiero. The Fiero is a few inches wider, like 3 or 4 inches wider from edge of mirror to edge of mirror. And the Fiero weighs like 800 or 900 pounds more. So this thing's a tin can, man. All right. So now I guess I can kind of go over my plan for this thing, as long as we don't run into any major roadblocks. And again, I know there's going to be those people that are like, you never finish anything. First of all, that's not true. I've finished many vehicles, you're just overlooking them. 2, I am going to finish them. I've said that 2 or 3 times already. So, my plan for this, I needed the body. Pretty much everything else is gone. And we're going to put it on a chassis. Now, I'm pretty sure I did a video where I talked about this Chris Alston Chassis Works front clip that I got, because I was going to put it under the front of the 55, but I've been sitting on this since like last fall or something like that, and it's a really nice kit. Mustang 2 style front suspension, disc brakes, the calipers and rotors and shit for this are really cheap. The length of this is actually perfect. From the front spindle to the end of that goes to just in front of the rear wheels. So my plan is to cut virtually everything out of this. I'm going to cut just a little bit of the floor out at a time because I'd like to reuse a lot of the stock floor. I don't want to do a shitload of tin work on this thing. So if I can reuse as much of the stock floor as possible, that'd be tight. And then we will graft the Chris Alston kit in the front, build a 2x3 style, real basic back half for this thing, ladder bar. My head will probably be looking through that window there because, like I said, the pedals for this thing are like right here, and we're going to have to move the firewall back to about here, give or take. I haven't taken any measurements. I've just eyeballed some things, and I was like, yeah, we're gonna have to change some shits. And that's why I was saying earlier, stock dash might not stay in it. It'd be cool if it could, because I like the style of stock dashes. I think they'd look neat. But yeah, aside from that, full square tube style chassis. We're basically going to make like a Pro Street style Opel Kadett. And then obviously cage, which probably going to have to make the cage myself. Might be able to find one for something that'll work, like maybe a square body S10 might be close, or something like that. Maybe a Chevette would work. And there was a lot of small cars that I was looking for off and on over the last year and a half. I was looking at a lot of Chevettes. Those have gotten ridiculously expensive. I didn't want a 4-door, I wanted a 2-door. And even like a one in about like this shape, maybe a hair better as far as the rust goes, was like $3,000 to $5,000. I was like, no shot am I paying more than a few $100 for a Chevette. And like I said earlier, I had tried to buy one of these cars many years ago, not to do something like this with. I just thought they looked cool. And I was really into that phase when you're younger and you just want to buy a car, drive it for a little bit, sell it, get something else. That's why I've had so many cars over the years, is because I'd buy it, drive it for a few months, and then trade it for something else. I had looked for another 240, 260, 280Z, because I had a 74 260 back in the day. Loved that car. Sold it to fund another car, my 62 Ford Galaxy. And the fucking Datsuns are also absolutely astronomical, which makes sense. Those cars are sick. So then, like I said, this car popped up for $500, and I was like, it's not that far away. I'd like to at least go check it out. Message the dude. He's like, bring me $200 and it's yours. And I was like, even if it's a pile of crap, I could sell a couple things off of it, get my money back, scrap the rest, because it does have a title. So anyway, that is the plan for this thing. I don't know when we're going to get to it. I plan on doing everything else first, but, you know, I might give in to the ADHD beast going on up here and want to start just cutting this thing up for something to do. So let me know what you guys think. I know that it's going to break a lot of people's hearts that we're putting another LS in it, because all you know was LSs, but man, they're just good motors. If anything else was this cheap and easy to modify and easy to make this much power with, I'd be using that too. If it was a Ford, sure. If it was a Honda, sure. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys are into the car. Thank you guys for watching, subscribing, clicking the bell to get notifications. I'll see you next time.